And the ancient kingdom of Umwiza, known for its rolling green hills and wide rivers, the palace buzzed with excitement. King Tao, ruler of the realm for 40 years, had summoned all the noble families across the land. His only son, Prince Olumo, was of age, and the time had come to choose a bride. Not just any bride, but one who could stand beside him as queen, wise, graceful, and noble in both heart and name. The king declared a festival, 7 days of tests, dances, riddles, and feasts, where the prince would find his future queen. Far from the capital, in a small village on the outskirts of the kingdom, lived a servant girl named Nabira. She worked in the home of a wealthy merchant, rising before dawn to sweep the courtyard, tend to the goats, and prepare the family's meals. Though her hands were rough and her clothes simple, Nabira had a mind as sharp as a lion's teeth and a heart as kind as rain in dry season. She listened closely to stories from travelers and elders, absorbing knowledge like the earth drinks water. When word reached her village about the festival, the noble girls fluttered with excitement. Nabira watched quietly. She knew no servant could ever be chosen as queen, but still her heart stirred. One evening, sitting under a baobab tree, she whispered to the stars, "I will go, not to be chosen, but to be seen." And with that, she took her late mother's beads, stitched a gown from cloth scraps, and borrowed an old horse from the village elder. On the first day of the festival, Nabira arrived at the palace among dozens of noble daughters. They came in gold and silk, laughing with pride. Nabira kept to herself, smiling only when spoken to. She called herself Lady of the Borderlands and said little of her past. The tests began: dancing, storytelling, riddle solving, and acts of kindness. Each day, the prince observed quietly. Though many women dazzled, it was Nabira who solved the hardest riddle. It was she who stayed behind to help an old servant who fell during a procession. Prince Olumo noticed her calm grace. One evening he spoke with her by the palace fountain. "You don't speak like the others," he said. Nabira replied, "I was raised by work and silence, not praise and gold." Her honesty struck him. He found himself looking for her each day, but pressure built from the court. "You must choose someone from a noble family," his advisors warned. His eyes were drawn to Salaye, daughter of a chief. She was stunning, tall, with honeyed skin and laughter that echoed like drums. Though she never helped the poor or answered a riddle, she was bold and charming. The crowd adored her. On the final day before the entire kingdom, the prince announced his choice. "Salaye." The people cheered. Nabira stepped back, her heart heavy but her face composed. Salaye, noticing her in the crowd, smirked. "Shouldn't the servants be cleaning the feast grounds?" she said loudly. Laughter erupted. The prince chuckled too. "She tried to join noble women. How bold!" he joked. Nabira turned and left. No one saw the tears glistening in her eyes. Years passed. The kingdom changed. The prince, now king, lived under Salaye's sharp tongue. She spent riches on jewels while the people suffered under drought and sickness. The palace lost favor with the gods, they said. Crops failed, rivers dried, and unrest grew. One day, a mysterious healer arrived in the kingdom. She wore a blue robe, her face half covered, and carried herbs unknown to local healers. Within days, she cured the king's mother of a deadly fever. She healed children and fed the hungry with remedies and wisdom. Whispers spread. She comes from beyond the western hills. She once advised a queen. She asks no payment. The queen, jealous, called for her removal, but the king, desperate and humbled, summoned her to the court. When she removed her veil, silence fell. It was Nabira, her eyes calm, her posture regal. The court gasped. The king stumbled forward. Nabira, I did not know. I was young, foolish," he stammered. She smiled gently. "You saw only my hands, never my heart." He begged forgiveness and asked her to stay, but she declined. "A queen must be chosen with clear eyes, and I choose my own path now." With that, she left the palace, her footsteps soft as wind on sand. Moral lesson: never judge a person by their status or past. Kindness, wisdom, and dignity may be hidden beneath humble clothes, and those rejected today may be the ones who rise to heal nations tomorrow.